Gonna be a great year.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We are so excited on the content topic today, and I'm very excited because we have a special guest. We have Manychat joining us. I'm going to let people trickle into the presentation, but while you're here, feel free to leave in the comments where you're tuning in from, and also let us know if you've used Manychat or Metricool before. I'm going to go ahead and pop up the presentation on screen. And if you are new here and this is your first Metricool webinar you've ever tuned into, my name is Alex. So nice to meet you all. I have been with the team for about 3 years now, and I work on the marketing team, and I'm very excited to get started. We're going to be talking about the content to conversation funnel, and we'll get into all of the nitty-gritty for that. So I'm going to introduce David, who is our special guest. He's from Manychat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. And special shout out to Alex. She is so amazing at helping us plan this webinar and giving us the opportunity to speak. So thank you so much for all your hard work on this. But yeah, my name is David. I am a product marketing manager at Manychat. I've been at Manychat since 2021. And then in this time, I've really learned so much and seen so many amazing stories from people starting their own Instagram businesses, making content about topics they're passionate about. So, I am so excited to talk with you guys today and show you how you can use Manychat and Metricool combined to completely revolutionize your business to, finally make more money from your Instagram audience and get more ROI from all the hard work you're putting in on your Instagram. And something, I've talked, as it says on the slide, I've talked to over 1,000 creators and so many different niches, whether they're real estate videography companies, or they're, cooking online course sellers, or they're fitness instructors or online coaches or whatever. And something I just want to impart on you as we kind of dive into all the different stuff about Manychat and Metricool, I just want to promise you from the bottom of my heart, this will work for your niche, for your business. Super common question. And I totally get it. It's okay, well, this person's talking about marketing. Will it work for my business? And I can promise you, we're connected to over 1 million Instagram accounts. It does work for your content topic, and you can use this for any type of business structure, whether you're getting affiliate deals, whether you're getting infopreneur, if you're selling your own online course, if you have a service, if you're a local business, all you need is, traffic on your Instagram, making great content, and then using Manychat to help convert that content into revenue for your business. So super excited to chat with you today, and I hope we can help you out.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here to answer all the questions on Manychat. So to get started today, like I said, we're talking about the content to conversation funnel. So we're not necessarily going to be talking about posting more. We're going to be talking about posting smarter. So we'll be breaking down things like why engagement isn't enough, why we often have that missing bridge between content and conversion, of course, how to turn comments into qualified leads with Manychat, and how you can use planning and automation to really create those great results. So combining your Metricool and your Manychat uses. So let's start with the problem. So oftentimes we love to see engagement, right? That's really important. We are not saying that engagement is not bad, but engagement without direction does not necessarily mean that you're going to get revenue, right? If you were to look at the right-hand images right here on the screen, without context, you would say, wow, this post is doing really great, right? We got a lot of likes, we got a lot of comments, a lot of saves, we have great engagement. That means that people are interested, the content is resonating, but it doesn't literally tell us what is happening next. Where are these people going next? So if you do have great engagement, you don't have a content problem. It's more likely that you just have a conversational gap.
Great. And then this is an example I found. This is one of our top Manychat users, but then there's countless and countless stories like this. And this is somebody who is clearly really dialed in their content, right? She has 1.5 million followers. She is making consistent content every day, and her name is Nicole. And she does basically like teaches about how to do home gardening. So in this video that's on the main screen right here, it really talks about like, okay, this is how I built this raised bed for my garden for under $100. And she walks through the whole thing. And, you know, like we said, like she knows how to make good content. That's something that, you know, I say it's a useful skill to know how to learn anyways. Like, how do I make engaging content? How do I talk well on camera and stuff like that? But then that's the first step. And then once you can kind of get that attention on Instagram, okay, that doesn't necessarily amount to money until you implement Manychat. So as you can see on the caption of the picture, it says comment build for my first ebook. And then you can see some of the comments below. It's like build, build, build. And then this is something that creators use to basically give a call to action to their post. And so they're getting all this engagement and attention. And then the users are, you know, really interested. How do we convert that into action that's beneficial for Nicole's business? So Nicole, as it says at the top, Nicole has made over $1.5 million in her business by implementing simple call to actions and using Manychat on her Instagram. So she'll say, hey, comment build for my free guide. Hey, comment workshop to get an invite to my webinar and stuff like that. So she's basically prompting interest, getting everybody from Instagram to say, hey, I want to raise my hand. I'm interested in what you're offering. And then she starts that conversation in the DMs. But as you know, she has 1.5 million followers. How in the world can she message, if she has 500 people comment on this post, how in the world is she going to message all of them? There's not enough hours in the day. That's where Manychat also comes in, because you're able to automatically respond, answer each one of those comments, and then start authentic conversations, the DMs, like in Nicole's voice. The people that go through this flow feel like they've had a personal connection with Nicole because she's writing the same message, but they're able to kind of enter their business, become customers, and it's really beneficial for both parties.
Yes, definitely. And like David said, she has the whole package, right? She has that really great, insightful content, and she's driving people to those conversions. We wanted to start off by showing you a really great example of what you can do with these tools to not only like obviously create really great results, but also save you time, because with 1.5 million followers, like you can't answer everyone. So I also wanted to break it down now that we've shown you that example and talk about what exactly the content to conversation funnel is, because more often than not, and you can let me know in the comments if you already are using kind of more of this modern funnel, but most of the time, a lot of people are still using the link in bio. And this is our traditional way of driving traffic, but the content to conversation funnel is this new system where we're trying to trigger conversations that move people towards a conversion. So I have a nice little breakdown here because I thought that this would be a great visual, but this is the new modern funnel. So we go from content to engagement to conversation to conversion. So if we start at the top, content. This is where the very beginning, right? This is where you're going to capture attention. It's often the entry point. So the time that people are seeing your content either for the first time, you know, they're scrolling, and you want to make sure that that content is making them stop, especially in this day and age where everything, we consume so much content on a daily basis. So we want to make sure that our content is making that memorable first impression. And this happens in the planning stage, right? When you're thinking about, okay, like what's my visual going to look like? What's my caption going to look like? When I build it out and I'm scheduling my content, let's say, for example, if you're scheduling in Metricool, you can see all of that content populating, and you can, you know, put yourself in the viewers' shoes. Like, would this make me stop? That's often a great question to ask yourself. And then once you've hit that entry point, you can go into the engagement part, which goes back to that first slide that we looked at. How can you encourage interaction that invites participation? So you want to have educational, inspirational, relatable content, motivational content, basically anything that's going to prompt any sort of engagement. And these days, that's so many things. That's comments, saves, shares, reposts, reactions. There's so many different ways to get engagement nowadays. And then from there, we move into conversation. And this is where Manychat really takes the spotlight. And we're wanting to deepen the trust through direct connection, because you're moving from public comments to private DMs. So how can you deliver that value through those DM conversations? And more often than not, we think of like, okay, we want to send them somewhere, right? Like maybe that's like downloading a lead magnet, sending them to our services if I'm a business owner. But you can also even do personalized responses past that initial message to kind of guide those users towards a solution. And then lastly, we have conversion. So we want to make sure that we are presenting those clear next steps. Obviously, your audience is ready to take action, especially if they took the time to comment. So what are those problem-aware, solution-aware messaging that aligns with those needs? This funnel really helps me kind of go step by step in the content building process when I'm planning my content out, because it just kind of gives like a nice flow of, okay, these are the next things that I need to be hitting.
Mm-hmm. Such a great point. And then something I really want to emphasize about the conversation, a part of it, is that conversations are like the best way to convert. It is such an engaging channel on Instagram and even like Messenger or TikTok or whatever. Like when you get a DM, it is like such a personal channel. Like I guarantee all of us are messaging our friends, sending them memes or whatever. Like you are very intimate. You are very connected to people on that channel, and it's a very engaged channel. So that's why it's so effective at forming those connections. It's like Instagram DMs are so powerful for that.
Absolutely. And I also think that like when we were talking about 2026 predictions, like in marketing, a lot of it was, all of these things are happening in the DMs. They are happening after the public comments.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's start at the top of the funnel. Like I said, we want to plan content with conversion in mind. So how can we do this? This is a really great exercise, but you want to make sure that every post has a job, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that every single post has to necessarily convert to something, because maybe you're not sending someone somewhere for everything. But you want to make sure that you have a hook. That's your scroll stopping content. And then you provide some sort of value, whatever that is, for your niche. And you want to have a specific CTA in your caption, and then of course a conversation trigger. So how I like to think about it is when you are planning out your content, so however you do that, let's say you do it directly in a planner, or maybe you are a Google Drive and then move into a planner, or Google Sheets and then move into a planner. But before you schedule and publish your content, you want to ask yourself, what action should this post drive? Things like, what conversation should this trigger? Where am I at in the funnel? And overall, your overarching should be to think about the conversation before you post the content. So like a great example would be, okay, like let's say I want to lead people to my workout class. What do I want in my content that are going to make people first want to stop and see like what my service is for my workout class is, and what CTA can I have that's going to prompt users to leave a comment and get that direct link. So you want to basically plan your content with all of this in mind. It should always have a nice and clear direction.
Totally agree. And then on just one point on that, also is interesting, like think about like who you're talking to. So like using the example of fitness, like if I'm a fitness trainer, it's like, oh, I can do, men in their 30s that want to lose 10 pounds or whatever, right? Like you're directly addressing those people. I think that's another awesome way to kind of develop those hooks.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely always think about who you're talking to. And like I said, put yourself into the shoes of your target audience. That's so, so important. Then we are moving into how to turn those engagements into conversations. So like I said before, comments are gold. We want great engagement. It looks really great. It's nice social proof. But when you couple those comments with DM automation, that's where we like to capture the user intent, right? So another example, let's say I'm scrolling and I come across this fitness class reel. If I actually want to take the class, I'm going to take the time to comment the keyword so that I can get the link sent to me. If I don't comment, it's more than likely that I'm not interested enough to actually, purchase the class or take the class. So, like I said, that captures my intent. You want people to want to comment. And so you want to think about this in like comment keywords, story replies, DM keywords. You can do this in many different places. I have a nice example on the screen of Canva. Canva actually uses DM automation very often, and they do it with a lot of their like free offerings. So for example, on this one, it said Prompt Playground, and they were basically giving you these exclusive templates, and they were kind of creating kind of like a little buzz about it because they are exclusive templates, right? So they said comment design trends and they'll send you the direct link to access them. But they've also even done it in like simpler terms. They've done like drop an emoji in the comments and we'll give you a link to, Canva Create. So there's just so many different ways and different keywords that you can use to really incite people's intent to where you want to lead them to. And I really wanted to put an example here of our own content. So this is 2 examples of Metricool's content, and we use Manychat all the time. It's kind of like a day-to-day thing for us, but I thought it would be fun to see what content looks like with Manychat and what content looks like without Manychat. So when we're building out our content in the Metricool planner, like I said, we're always thinking of, what direction we want our viewers to go to. Do we want them to download something? Are we providing value? So here I have 2 examples. On the left-hand side, we created social media calendars back in October. So we basically wanted to provide value early to our audience and be like, okay, hey, download these calendars. It has all these popular social media dates on them. And with this one, we used Manychat. So we provided value by showing them kind of what these calendars would look like. And then we said, okay, these are available in all these different countries. So it reaches a wider set of people. And then we wanted to have kind of like a clear comment trigger. So that was comment calendar. Calendar being a very simple word. And we knew that if people were commenting it, it's likely because they needed the calendar or they were planning to use it in some sense. That post got 508 comments. It was a really successful post for us. It was really exciting. And it really showed us like, hey, like this is an interesting topic. Like maybe we should talk about these calendars more often or create similar content. And then on the right-hand side, we release pretty much monthly studies, and these are often our most popular types of resources. But with this one, we did kind of more of that traditional funnel. So that traditional link in bio CTA, we said, save this for your next post and download our study at the link in our bio. This one only got 5 comments. Now, of course, we don't necessarily have all of that data. Like there may have been more people who went to, look at that link in bio, but we don't really necessarily know. And with the 5 comments too, we only kind of garnered some interest with that. So Manychat is a really great way to kind of have all of that data at hand and really measure that intent.
Yeah, absolutely. And then love this A/B example. I think also something to think about, right? Like not only I think it's safe to expect that you get very high click-through rate in the DMs. So when you're starting a conversation with every single one of these people, you're probably getting 50%. Sometimes we get 80% click-through rate. It depends on your business, but you can really expect a much higher click-through rate than sending an email or something like that, especially link in bio. Like if you think about all the people that probably saw this post and then the percentage of people that clicked on your link in bio, probably 2 and 3%, whereas you can relatively expect everybody who comments on that is going to get that link and is going to be able to click. So that's one thing. So not only are you getting higher conversion, but the amount of comments, that's signaling to Instagram, hey, people are really engaging with this post. Hey, people really want to see this. Let's show this post to more people. And so we have a lot of research on our end that shows that DM automation with a clear call to action like this, like increases your reach, helps you gain followers faster, gets your post more engagement as well. So aside from all the conversion benefits, it'll also benefit your account and helping you grow your audience as well, which is really awesome.
Yes. And I also want to add on, because I feel like this is something that people forget. If you're a user and you do comment on something and it gets sent directly to your DMs, it's really nice because it's sitting there, like maybe at that point in time, you don't necessarily have the time to go download something or purchase something, but it's going to be there and easy to access when you do have the time. Whereas sometimes with like a link in bio, you kind of have to do it at that moment in time or it might be forgotten.
Yeah, such a good point.
I'm going to give a nice new example.
Yes, another awesome example. And then once again, like vastly different example. And then also something I realized is that like, okay, I'm showing people with a ton of followers. Like, if you have more than 5,000 followers and you have a decent amount of traffic on your Instagram, like you can use Manychat too. And I've seen people start multi-million-dollar businesses with 20,000 followers, with 10,000 followers. So it as long as you have the pieces in place and as long as you have a traffic source and your content's good enough to get attention, then like you're off to the races. So don't be intimidated when I'm showing you 1.5 million or 600,000 followers. I don't have anywhere near this amount of followers, but I've got value from Manychat, which is good. But so I just wanted to give an example. As we just showed in the previous one, how, you know, sometimes it's in the caption, sometimes it's somewhere else, like just kind of adding that call to action somewhere throughout your post is a good idea. This one was a carousel post. And as you can see, he added it directly where it says comment pick for my ultimate 29 marketing prompts guide. It's free. So once again, like you can drive straight to a, you know, course, to a landing page, you know, whatever, or you know, to book a meeting or to even start a conversation with like a live chat agent, if that's what your business uses, something like that. And then as you can see, he also still has a link in bio. So like, and not to say that it's like when someone first discovers your site, you can, you know, have a link there for them to visit and learn more about you if they're really interested. But if they're not and they're just interested in your content, you can post stuff like this where you're optimizing your content, like we said, like with that conversion in mind. Okay, we have a guide, we have a lead magnet, we have a PDF, we have an email list we want them to join, something like that. And then if you can click on the video on the right, I'm not sure if we'd be able to play that. It's okay if not. There we go. Nice. So I actually responded to this, and this is the flow I got. So once again, and this is a pretty like advanced flow, and I'm going to show you how to make that a little bit later in this presentation. But I think something that's really interesting is that like you don't have to start here. If you see all these different follow-ups and stuff like that, I'll show you how to do it, and it's great. But when you're just getting started with Manychat, just doing a one node automation that's like, hey, thanks so much for your comment. Here's the guide to my web, or here's the link to my webinar. Here's the downloadable PDF guide, whatever. That's such a good place to start. And you're going to get such amazing returns on that versus link in bio that it's like going to yield a lot of benefits for your business. So just keep that in mind too. I'll show you this. And if you get intimidated, that's fine. Start with one node, see how that goes. And then once you kind of adopt that habit, it'll be easier to keep going. And then like, oh, maybe we'll add a follow-up, stuff like that. Because as you can see here, he's adding a voice note. He's saying, hey, I got your email. Awesome. He's getting my email. So now I'm converted from his Instagram audience to his owned audience. So if his Instagram gets blocked, whatever reason, he still has access to my email. And you can do that with whatever contact information is valuable to you. He's also following up with a voice note, which is something that's really cool. And you can say, hey, I noticed you didn't click that link. Here's a voice note saying why you should click it. And if you have any other questions, and feel free to send me an email afterwards. So all these are different possibilities with Manychat, and I'm excited to talk to you about them.
Yeah, I am really excited to see how you build that flow because I definitely didn't know about the voice notes. And there's so many cool things that you can do with, you know, past that initial message. I feel like oftentimes we start with that simple one, but it's really interesting to see kind of how we can build out those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course, now that we've talked about basically all of those steps, we want to talk about connecting, planning, and automation. Because when you're planning without automation, you don't have that, you know, that consistent follow-up. And then if you are automating without planning, a lot of the times it can be random conversations. So I thought it would be nice to really talk about how you can bridge those two with, you know, Metricool and Manychat. It is two separate platforms, but they really can work hand in hand to make your process so much quicker, right? Like when you are planning out your content, let's say, you know, you're planning out your content with everything in mind of like those conversation triggers that you are trying to have, then you can move all of that into the planner, schedule it out to all of the different platforms. Here you can see like a fully built out planner. You can schedule it at like the best times to post. So if you know your audience is the most engaged at those moments, that would be perfect to start those conversations, right? And then once you have, you know, batch scheduled out all of your content, you can then move into Manychat and set up those automations and triggers and really, you know, set yourself up for success because it really does take a long time to plan your content and also interact and engage. So this is really just kind of making maybe something that would normally take you hours and bringing it down to kind of like a smaller load on everything else that you have going on for your business, because of course this is only one part. And here I have just two examples kind of the dashboard, but I'm excited because now David's going to go into the demo of how to build out those cool flows.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to show my screen. I don't know if I can see you guys, so if there's something I need to stop, just shout and I will fix it. But this is the amazing Manychat dashboard. This is my personal Instagram it's connected to. And when you log in on the homepage right here, and you're going to most likely when you sign up or when you log in, if you have an account and you aren't using it yet or whatever, you're going to see kind of two things that are great to start with. Say hi to new followers. This feature's in beta, so it's not available to everybody. I'm really sorry. We're working hard if it's not available to you right now. But we're going to talk today about auto DM from links. And this is the example that we kind of referred to regularly throughout this presentation. Hey, comment this keyword and I'll send you my free guide. You can see it here. You can also go to the automations menu and go to, see, this is all my active automations. You can go to new automation, and then you're going to see this template. So, you can also see hi new followers, auto DM from links, and then you also see a bunch of other options as well if you want to go through there. Important thing to note, I'm going to go over both, but I'm going to start with quick automations. So as you can see here, there's a quick automations one, and then we have a flow builder one as well. The flow builder, that's going to be one that's more complicated. That's going to be the one that, not necessarily more complicated. Once you learn it, it's easy to learn, but it's going to have a more powerful kind of suite of things. It's how you send the voice note. It's how you follow up more. Specifically, it's how you can personalize it more. But we're going to start with auto DM from links. And then this is something this is called quick automations. And this is going to be made basically for you to get in and out as quickly as possible. Think about it like a microwave. Hey, I want to finish this. I want this to be attached to my post, whatever. So currently our options for choosing what post you want to set automations for is up here. You can do one of these where you can just choose a post that you've already posted. You can do any poster reel, or you can do next poster reel. So if you have something scheduled and it's going to go out, you can do next poster reel and then set a keyword and stuff like that and establish the automation before you post it. You can also do any. I recommend any if it's like a very specific one-time thing, and then you want to, if you want to post it before, you can like set this up before, do any poster reel, and then make sure the keyword is something really specific that only applies to that future post. That way, when you post it, people will start commenting the keyword and you'll be good to go. You can also just do it retroactively as well with a specific poster reel, whatever works for you. Also, for any poster reel, it might be a good idea if you're constantly getting the same question over and over again, which I know a lot of businesses are, like, hey, do you ship outside the United States? Hey, what are your business hours? Stuff like that. You can always do any poster reel as well and set up kind of an evergreen automation. So when people are commenting that, you send them a message saying, hey, thanks so much for your comment. Here's XYZ. So for this example, I'm going to do a specific poster reel, and I'm going to do this AI video I made. And then we're going to do a specific word or words. So let's say I was saying, hey, comment here for your for my free fitness guide or something like that. So I could say fitness, I could say guide, and it says use commas to separate keywords, which is why I'm doing a comma. So guide, test, shop, etc. Right? So whatever call to action, right, that we've already decided on based on your hook, based on your content, etc. And like the example I shared with Harry, his thing was pick. So we could do also pick, comment pick, and I'll send you a free guide. Also be any word. Would recommend that you be thoughtful before you use this one, and unless you want every single person who comments to send this automation. That could work. I've seen people use that as well. But for this example, I'm just going to use pick as the example. You can also use different misspellings too. So that's something to think about. It's like if mine was price, I might do rice, or because like people are moving fast, they might have a typo or something like that. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then these are going to be public replies under their posts. So then you can say, awesome. These are going to be public comments. So as you can see here, they comment the word pick and I respond, awesome. Check your DMs now. Something like that, right? Make it in your own voice. Feel free to add emojis, etc. If you guys have a lot of traffic and you're automatically replying to all these comments anyways, you probably already have these comments kind of pasted in your notes app or something. Then there's a couple options here. So like we said, you can just respond with, hey, here's your link. You can toggle all these off, add a link to, button label is click here, add a link to youtube.com, right? That's just my example link. That would be a super simple flow. I can go up here and say go live and be completely fine, right? But because Meta has this rule, it's called the 24-hour rule, and basically, I cannot send an automated message to somebody more than 24 hours after my last interaction on Instagram. And that's really important because Meta wants to make sure that, okay, I commented once, I don't want to forever subscribe to unlimited DMs from this person, right? Completely fair. I fully endorse that rule. But when someone comments, you can actually only send them one message. So they commented, hey, you can send them one message. Then as far as automation, so I can send them one automated message. So if they don't click that, if they don't respond and they just see that, I can't send them anymore. The conversation's over. That's it, right? But if I send them an opening DM right here, and then I say, hey, I'm so happy you're here. Thanks so much for your interest. Click below and I'll send you the link in just a second. So they'll say, okay, click me the link. That opens the 24-hour rule. So now I can follow up as many times as I want within 24 hours. Once again, we don't want to spam them. They'll block us. That'll be a bad experience for everybody. But it gives me the opportunity to kind of follow up multiple times with different offers, asking for their email, saying, hey, I noticed you didn't click the link. Do you mind clicking it again? Stuff like that. So, hey, thanks so much. Send me the link. And then do I want to say a DM asking for their email or a DM asking to follow you before they get the link? I met somebody recently. He started with 5,000 followers. And then by instituting one of these automations, by saying, hey, comment prompt and I'll send you this free AI prompt. And then he does this where he says something like, this guide is only for my followers. Can you make sure to follow me? Can you make sure to follow me before I send it? Right? And then they'll go back, follow your account, and then they'll push the button following, and they'll say, hey, I'm following. And then now, awesome, here's your link. And then you can send them a link. And then we have an option to say, follow up if they don't click the link. This will follow up after a couple minutes, and it'll say, hey, notice you didn't click the link. You can change it to whatever you want. And then boom. So this will follow up if they don't click the link, right? So you can do all that with quick automations. Once you get used to it, once you get familiar with it, you can set it up in under 2 minutes, right? No doubt about it, which is awesome. So we'll go live here. Luckily, my Instagram is not blowing up, so I don't think anybody will trigger that. But this will be something that you can do. And I also want to show you how you can do this in, that was quick automations, right? So let's quickly go over what we can do in the flow builder as well. So I'm going to go start from scratch up top, and then I'm just going to go start with a blank. And this is the flow builder. So once again, similar idea here. We want to start with a trigger, right? So we'll go trigger, comments in your post or reel, replies to your story, sends a message, etc. Also shares your post or reel is a new trigger we have. So something that's really important here is that now I can stack different call to actions or different triggers. So, we'll choose this post, we'll go continue, and then the keyword I'll do here is guide. And then let's include misspellings too. And they're not case sensitive, so don't worry at all. Something like that, right? Continue. And then I can add more public auto replies. So when somebody comments, this is what I'll publicly respond. I'll add as many as possible just so people don't feel like I am copy and pasting it. And awesome. And now I can add multiple triggers as well. So, let's say, as we know, people sometimes have a hard time following instructions. So we'll do user replies to your story. We'll do all stories because stories are 24 hours. And once again, I may only have one keyword and story, and then I'll react with that in response. And then actually we'll do specific words and we'll do guide again, right? Okay. And then last one, we'll just do, okay, what if they go and directly DM me this keyword? And then we'll go here and then go guide. Awesome. So now they can comment, they can reply to my story, or they can send me a message. And all that is awesome. So now what message are they going to get? Hey there. Thanks so much. Click the button below to receive my guide. And then I added a button right here. And then on that button, I'll say, click when button is pressed. And then I'll change the text of the button from new button 1 to click here. Done. Okay. And then we're going to do, maybe let's get their email this time. So data collection right here. Because if we want to go back to the example that Marketing Harry did, he was trying to gather emails for people to say, hey, before I give you this guide, let's get my email. That way he can build his own audience. And then because emails are super valuable contact information. So awesome. Do you mind sending an email where I can deliver the guide to you? And then we'll go contacts reply. We'll change that from text to email. Save email, it's fine, that's fine. And then you can say if contact has not responded in 5 minutes, we'll choose the next step. And then also down here are a couple options. If they enter, an incorrect format, right? So you're asking for an email, but if they say, David A or something like that, if and didn't give like a proper email format, this is the message that it would send back to them. They also have a skip button. Then, so we say that, and then here is where you can go interesting. If you have, if you have a, you can store this email in Manychat. You can also integrate this with Google Sheets. You can also integrate it with whatever email CRM you're using. Example here, I could create a Google Sheet or go to my MailChimp account and say add contact to a list. That's if you want to do that. You don't have to do that, but that's an option as well. And then this is what you're going to send if they haven't responded. So we'll go here and then say, right, like we said earlier, they're going to respond after 5 minutes if they haven't given an email. Say, hey, are you still interested in the guide? If so, drop your email below. Go to data collection. I'm actually going to copy and paste this into a data collection node, and we'll delete that. And then I won't follow up again if they're ghosting me after that. But basically, they'll send me an email after that, and if they don't, I'll follow up and ask for an email. And then next step, we'll go down here. Awesome. That guide should be in your inbox shortly. And then I can do is add a smart delay or add a delay here. If you want a short delay, you can add it here. If you want a long delay, that's something that we can do outside of a node. So if I want to wait, the default is 23 hours, right? Because remember the 24-hour rule. We can also do 23 seconds. We can also do 23 minutes, whatever. We can do 100 minutes. Oh, not that many. Do 100 minutes. We can do 3 hours, whatever automation you want to do. Actually, what I didn't show in the video earlier from Marketing Harry is that he actually followed up 22 hours later saying, hey, just wanted to see how you like the guide, if there's anything I can help with, etc. So you can always add that at the end of your automation as well. But we'll go back to here and say, awesome, it should be in your guide shortly. And then you can go down to more and say, you can share audio, you can share a video, you can share kind of like dynamic content, add a card, images with buttons. Let's see if I can record an audio. Looks like I have to upload it. Yeah, so let's say I would upload it here, right? And then say, hey, Metricool is so awesome. Thank you so much for all this awesome stuff. And then let me know if you have any questions. Or if you want, I actually have a link for people who are really interested in this stuff. If you want to be in my inner circle, etc., whatever. Whatever content you want to draw them to after that. And then you can say, here is the link I left here. I mentioned in the voice note. and then have the link to click here. We'll go to Open Actions. Metricool.com is the URL. And then last thing I want to show you is how to follow up. So I'm adding an action here, right? So I clicked add an action, and that's when this person's clicked, it's going to do an action. So an action is basically, it's going to do something to the contact information within Manychat, right? So in this example, I'm going to say add a tag, and that tag is going to be click to link, right? So what this is going to do is say, it's telling my Manychat, okay, to this contact, we're going to say this person clicked the link. Then what we're going to do is wait, and we can do the smart delay, right? So we're going to go smart delay over here, wait 3 hours, and then we're going to add a condition. And the condition is going to say, okay, is the tag click the link? If the tag is click the link, we're going to tell Manychat to send them this message. Hey, just, oop. If the tag is click the link, we're going to say, hey, just following up, what did you think of the guide? And if it doesn't match the link, we're going to say, hey, just wanted to send you this link again and offer a free coupon in case you're still on the fence or whatever. My copy sounds a little bit needy, but hopefully that gives you an idea, right? And that's, so you're able to do that with quick automations, but you're able to build out something like this. And I think I just did that in like 5 minutes, right? And this is going to be on recording. This is going to be on our YouTube channel as well. So if you need a little bit, if you want to go step by step and make this alongside me, feel free to go watch any of these videos. But that's going to be how we create automation, right? We have multiple triggers. We trigger that, we have them hit the button to start the 24-hour window. Now I can follow up. Now I can do all sorts of stuff, right? Add this email to a Google Sheet. I can add it to a contact. I can, hey, are you interested in this guy? Drop your email below. Awesome, this guy should be in your inbox shortly, right? So I just made this whole flow, and this is how you can kind of increase conversion and go to that next step when you're using Manychat. So I'm going to tab back over to the presentation, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Hope that was really helpful.
David, that was really great. I think we had a little bit of a quality hiccup there for a second, but I think I fixed it. So please let me know in the comments if you can see that. But like David was saying too, that it will all be in the replay, and we should have that fixed for that part too. But thank you so much for that demo. I feel like I learned so much. We always do the custom flow where we build it out, but we've never built it out that intense. So I'm excited to play around with some of those features.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to help too.
Thank you. And then really quickly before I get into this slide, there was quite a few questions that were coming in, so I just wanted to address some of them. The recording will be on both of our YouTube channels, so the Metricool and the Manychat one. If you are someone who tuned in late or maybe has to leave a little bit early, don't worry, it will stay on there, as well as if you signed up for the presentation, you will get it into your email later on today. We'll send a direct link so that you can replay and watch it as you please. And then I am seeing the comments come in. Don't worry, we're going to do a live Q&A at the end here so that we can get to all of your questions. Thank you. Okay, so now going back into tracking what works. So I know that we talked a lot about, the content to conversation part of the funnel, but we haven't necessarily talked too much about how to take that conversion part and start it right back over again. And this is where you can really use both Metricool and Manychat to kind of make those informed decisions. So obviously with Metricool, you can schedule your content out and batch that. And then with Manychat, you're automating those conversations, but you can actually use the insights from both of them to refine your strategy. And what I mean by that is look at your analytics. Like, that is so important. You should be doing that ideally like once a month. Look at what comments, what posts are generating the most engagement. So let's say, for example, here in the right-hand corner, you can see, you can sort by organic comments. And then from there, you can be like, okay, so this got 510 comments. Was I driving traffic anywhere? What was my caption? What was my trigger word? Was it a really simple caption? Was it a little bit more in depth? You can use all of that information to really make informed decisions. And then similar to that, by looking at engagement metrics on Metricool, you can then use Manychat metrics like, the open rates, the reply rates, and see, okay, with the DM message that I created, how many people opened it? Did they click the link? Was it clear? All of that information is going to guide you into stronger content for the next round, because you're trying to just, like I said, create like a nice flow so that you can go right back to the top of the funnel and go through it again, and ideally increase those conversions every time, better your business, better your social media, and better those conversions. And because we spent a lot of time kind of on that, the content conversation part of it, we did want to give you something tangible to use. So we created a really nice playbook. There is a QR code on the screen here that you can scan. If you do happen to be watching on mobile, I'll go ahead and post all of the links at the end here as well so that you can copy it. But it's a really nice PDF. It gives you these really easy practices and exercises that you can use on both Metricool and Manychat to make sure that you are creating that content that's going to be kind of that repeatable conversion system. So definitely check that out. It's completely free. The exercises are free there too. And there's some really great resources as well. There's a link to Manychat tutorials, as well as a link to our newsletter where every week we send out kind of things that are trending in marketing, things that are great to do for social media. So lots of great things in that playbook. And then as a thank you, we also wanted to give some freebies. So we have here 2 other QR codes. Again, I'll put the link to everything in the comments, but you can do 1 month free of Metricool Premium with the left QR code, and 1 month free of Manychat Pro with the code Metricool Webinar. So you can go ahead and scan those if you would like to try either tool. If you are only using one, maybe try the other one and see how you can combine those efforts. But it's very exciting. Definitely use the codes. And with that, we're going to go into our Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments now, but we'll start from the top and kind of work our way down. So let me see what people have been asking. Okay, here's this one. I guess the question I would have is, Metricool, you have a free plan and things move well, but with Manychat, I thought it was limited access. Is that still the case?
We are egalitarian. Everybody can use Manychat. You have to go to manychat.com. You can connect your Instagram. We have a free tier where that comment automation is available. So if you wanted to try that out, and if you run into, finding more value and seeing more stuff where you want more access, you can obviously upgrade, or use the code Metricool Webinar and get a free month and then check it out. But yeah, it's available for everybody.
Amazing. And then we have this one too. Do you use Manychat with Facebook as well? Maybe you can talk about this, David.
Definitely. Facebook, if you have an audience on Facebook, I could not recommend Manychat more. Instagram is just more popular as a platform, but if you do have an audience on Facebook, Manychat is super valuable. There's actually there's more opportunities to do fun stuff. You can do something like a referral URL. So let's say if I'm posting a video on YouTube or, wherever, I can have a link that's basically a link to a Manychat flow in Messenger. So I can drive traffic from other places and then say, hey, click this link. And then you're driving them into a Messenger automation where the person can talk back and forth with you, et cetera. So definitely recommend it for Facebook if you have an audience there.
I think that Facebook is definitely underrated. I feel like when I hear about Manychat, I'm always thinking Instagram. So I feel like this is a really great opportunity to try it with your Facebook audience, especially if that is your main platform. I feel like even us as a team, we need to try it for Facebook too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, so I have this one. This one seems to be directed to us. I want to use Metricool, but I have issues with my business IG linking to my personal Facebook instead of my business Facebook. Does anyone know how to fix that? Yes, we have. So this is a common occurrence. So a lot of the times you have to have kind of like that direct connection. We have made it now to where you don't have to link your Facebook with your Instagram account. You can connect solely just your business IG without having to make that connection. I will say that with the API that we use, they haven't fully released all the features, so you might have a little bit more limited data, but maybe that's something that you can try in the meantime, just connecting directly just your business IG instead of linking it to that Facebook. But also, if you reach out to our customer support, we can also try to troubleshoot that for you. I'll make sure to put that link directly in the chat as well. And then I see we're getting a lot of this comment, so I would like to address it. So does Manychat integrate into Metricool? So we currently don't have an integration, but it's really easy to use hand in hand. Like I was saying, with Metricool, when you build everything out in the planner, everything populates on the right-hand side. So with that, you're kind of, you're seeing your images, you're seeing your caption. So for the Manychat portion of that, you can make sure that in your caption, you're writing whatever that trigger word is. Like, let's say you're using calendar. So you can say comment calendar. We also have a really nifty first comment feature. So maybe if you don't want that directly in your caption, you can use the first comment, which will automatically put a comment under your post that says like comment calendar to get the calendars. And then we also have a best times to post feature, which we didn't necessarily cover in the presentation, but this is based on your data and it tells you when your audience is the most engaged. And if you are trying to, incite those conversations, have people comment. I always recommend when you are scheduling out your content, especially if you're going to be connecting it to Manychat automation, you can choose that time where your audience is most active so that people are hopefully online to be able to generate those conversations. And then, once you create all of that in Metricool, then you can go into Manychat, and depending on, if it's a post that you've already posted, you can do that next feature. We do that a lot where we'll schedule our posts out, and then on the day of, we'll go into the next post that's supposed to go live, and we'll set up that DM automation.
Mm-hmm. And then something I just want to add here is that we're starting by partnering with awesome companies like Metricool. And then if you want this integration, if you're saying oh my gosh, it would be so amazing if Metricool did this with my Manychat or something like that, comment on this video, spam me on LinkedIn, go to our community and say the same thing. We really try to listen to our customers. So, I would be super down to build this if this is something that a lot of people had demand for. So just wanted to echo that.
I will be the first person to say that would be an amazing integration.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, please comment if that's something that you want to see. I have this comment too. Someone is not able to find the follow DM automation. Is that available to everyone?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's in beta right now. Meta is basically enacting regulations on us because they want to make sure that it's not given out. So I would say it's a dynamic thing. So your account is constantly checked. So if you're able to grow your account, if you're able to do stuff like that, it's possible you'll be able to get it in the future. But unfortunately, a lot of people are blocked from it right now. And I am talking to Meta every day to make that change.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
So we have this one. Maybe David, you can give some tips for this. So she's saying, I'm using DM automation and have noticed that a bunch of my commenters don't seem to understand that they are supposed to tap the little bar that is within the messages. They say things like, there's nothing to click. Is there a way or any tips so that it can encourage people to click in the correct spot?
Yeah. Sometimes people's phones, if they're using a super old phone or for whatever reason, or if they're sometimes it's randomly like that and not gonna be able to see the button. I'd say just say it in the copy of the message, hey, click the button below. If you can't see it, maybe check on your phone or check on a different device, something like that. That's something that also could be helpful. I would think that, yeah, that's probably my best recommendation.
Something that we do often is sometimes we just use emojis too, like with little arrows down so that people click. Maybe that's a little simple fix you could try, just so that they know that there's something to click underneath the message.
Mm-hmm, totally. And then we also use quick replies too. So if you find that buttons are kind of difficult, quick replies, which are basically another solution for that. It's a little bit, because if you're messaging somebody one-on-one with just another person on Instagram, you don't have the ability to see a button. So people might not be familiar with the fact that you can click a button. So quick replies, it's basically on the Manychat automation, instead there's buttons right here and then underneath it, it's just add quick reply. You can use one or the other. So maybe you can try experimenting with quick replies too.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. Then we have this one. How does it know when they are most active? Does it give the same recommendations for all posts, or is it based on content? I believe this is when I was talking about the best times to post feature. So basically, we take the data from your analytics and we use that to determine when your audience is the most active. So it would not be the same recommendation for every single person. It's basically to your account and your brand that's within that account. So it's essentially a heat map. So when you're looking at your planner in the weekly view, you can toggle on percentages and look at, okay, like 80% of my followers are active usually around this time. Like maybe this is what I want to post on, as opposed to like 32%. So that's how we can determine when they are the most active. And then
I actually just had another idea for the buttons question. If you can also basically say, hey, send me this word in the DMs to say, like, hey, I got your comment, send me the word guide if you want me to send it right here. And then you could prompt them to send the word guide. And then you can have the separate automation that says, like, hey, user sends a keyword that says guide, and then that would trigger it. So yeah, if, like, maybe in the comment you could say, like, if you can't see the button, just text me the word guide or something like that. So different ways to play around with it. Sorry.
definitely. And if you try it and you want to come back to this video and leave a comment, because I'm sure like other users would probably like appreciate that. So let us know if that did work, if it helped. And then it looks like we're nearing the end of the question. So someone asked if this stream was broadcasted on YouTube. It is. It's on both the Metricool channel and the Manychat channel, and it will stay there so you can rewatch it as you please, as well as if you signed up for the emails, you'll get the replay sent to you right after, as well as some free resources like that playbook. And then of course here we have the QR code if you would like to, scan those. I also put the direct link in the comments, and I'll make sure to pin everything that we've linked to as well, so that you have access to all of that information. But it has been such a great presentation. We hope that it was really helpful and that you all learned a lot. Feel free to leave, if you have any questions later, feel free to leave them on our YouTube channels, and we'll get to them. And yeah, definitely check out both platforms, use the codes, and that's all we have for you today.
Awesome. And just a really special shout out to Alex. She was super awesome in leading this webinar. So it was my pleasure to collaborate with you, and I hope we can do it again.
Thank you, David. It was so nice to collaborate with you as well. And with the interest that everyone has in the comments, I'm very excited.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.